Begin transmission. This is a message from the anonymous charity, now known as George. Today's broadcast date is July 26, 2019. This broadcast and the ones to follow in this series are add-ons to our previous upload on the Book of Enoch. This series, the Book of Enoch, and our series Bloodlines are all linked together. Over the coming weeks we will tie them together for you and share with you what these so-called elites have known all along. Let's begin. As mentioned in the last broadcast, we have traced the biblical references to giant races and individuals in the Old Testament. These next broadcasts endeavors to investigate further information on all of this, by looking at the fragmentary remains of the script on the giants in the Aramaic, about 300 BC, and Manichaean, about 250 AD, versions. Please take note, if you are reading these subtitles, the square brackets, or as we know them as, the kill box, indicate my presumed connecting material. Round, normal brackets indicate my comments. We now continue on from episode 1. Maway mounted up in the air as if upon strong winds, using his hands like eagle's wings. He left behind the inhabited world and passed over the great desert of desolation. Enoch saw him and hailed him. Maway told Enoch of his mission and said to him that he would speak with him. Flying here and there, Enoch came a second time to Maway, after he, Enoch, had warned Maway about flying too near the sun. Maway spoke to Enoch and said that the giants and all the monsters of the earth await his words. If the fall of the giants, wicked angels, has been carried out, by divine providence, from their days of heavenly glory, can you at least assure us that the number of our days spent doing harm will be added to our lives? We wish to know the meaning of the 200 trees that came down from heaven. Enoch, having received Maway's request, tried to intercede with God but unavailingly. Accordingly, he presented Maway with a tablet which was full of foreboding about the coming judgment, but which offered some hope for the future via repentance. The scribe, Enoch, gave Maway a copy of another tablet, not the one doused in water, that bore his, Enoch's, own handwriting. The writing on the tablet said, "In the name of the great and holy God, this message is sent to Shemi-Hazar, and all his companions. Let it be known to you, the giants and monsters, that you will not escape judgment for all the things that you have done, and that your wives, their sons, and the wives of their sons, will not escape, and that by your licentiousness on the earth, there has been visited upon you a heavenly judgment. The land is crying out and complaining about you and the deeds of your children and about the harm you have done to it. Until the heavenly angel Raphael arrives. Behold, destruction is coming by a great flood which will destroy all living things, whatever is in the deserts and the seas." The meaning of the dreams matter is by way of a judgment for all your evil. But if you now loosen the bonds binding you to evil and pray for forgiveness, you may be saved. Raphael, an angel sent by God to fight against evil and especially Azazel, Enoch it appears also saw a vision at some point. He said the following: "A great fear seized me and I fell on my face. I heard his voice." Whose? The angels. The text continues, "He, Enoch, dwelt among human beings but he did not learn from or rely on them." It seems possible Enoch is talking about the occasion when an angel came down to earth to summon him to heaven. Here ends the fragmentary Book of Giants, Dead Sea Scrolls version. It would be instructive here to look at relevant passages from the Book of Enoch 1, especially the section on the Watchers where we are told of the corrupting influence of the fallen angels, giving humanity, especially female, forbidden and arcane knowledge. Many of the women were made pregnant by the, evidently polymorphous, angels. The story of the giants is easier to follow in the Book of Enoch than in the very fragmented DSS version. Obviously much is lost of the latter version, beginning and end as well as throughout the narrative. According to the Book of Enoch, in the Watchers section, Enoch explains that the 200 trees represent the 200 watchers, the angels who betrayed their trust, and that the felling of their trunks signifies their coming destruction, by fire and flood. In another part of the book we are told that Maway in his flight, narrowly escaped being burnt by the sun, by means of Enoch's warning. The three names remaining, on the tablet in the first dream reported, symbolize the destruction of all creatures except Noah and his two sons, as mentioned. Manichaean version, of Book of Giants, largely similar to the DSS version, as to be expected, but with several differing details. This Manichaean version is even more fragmentary than the DSS text, and the fragments are in several languages, Middle Persian, Coptic being some of them. Below I give a summary, reconstruction of the fragments to try to form a coherent narrative. The version begins with the descent of the wicked angels to earth, because of their lust for mortal women. The angels taught forbidden secrets to the women and men, which led eventually to the spread of wickedness upon the earth. They subjugate and murder many people. Shemi-Hazza begets two giant sons, Oya and Ea. Other giants are engendered by other fallen angels, demons, who bring ruin to all things earthly. Humankind pleads for help. The giants quarrel among themselves. Oya has a dream about a tablet thrown into water, that when it emerged carried three signs indicating coming destruction. His brother dreams of a garden containing some 200 trees. Ea tells of a dream he had in which he saw people lamenting. The giant Maway flying along seeking Enoch, hears his voice warning him not to fly too close to the sun. He is guided by Enoch, who interprets the dreams, which suggest impending doom for the giants. Enoch's reply, in his own hand, is brought to the giants, which is a message of foreboding, seeming to predict a time of flood. Maway goes again to Enoch, living in a sort of earthly paradise, to tell him everything, and then Oya has a dream in which he ascends to heaven and sees the water of the earth consumed with fire. Oya, Shemi-Hazza and Maway have a conversation and seem to refer to weapons. Oya and Maway fall out and fight. The giants are glad to see Enoch, either visually or by the tablet, and promise to reform, asking for mercy. Enoch, however, warns the giants, monsters they will face damnation despite their belief they would never lose their power. The angels descend from heaven and terrify the demons who take human form. The angels lead the children of the giants away to nearby towns. The 200 demons fight an intense battle with the four angels. Oya and Ea intend to keep their promise to do battle. The four archangels bind the watchers with chains and destroy their children. It seems prisons had been prepared for them long ago. Oya, the monster Leviathan, and the angel Raphael took part in a great battle. And then, vanished. We will continue this on the 29th July at 17:45 Pacific. Join us then. This has been a message from the anonymous charity, now known as George. Today's broadcast date is July 26, 2019. End of transmission.